It feels good any night you get to play dirty water. Welcome into this edition of the Red Sox Rundown. I'm your host, Jack Lotteray. Did the Red Sox finally turn the corner? We're going to talk about that in today's video. We've also got a massive Wilyer Abreu update, and a Stay Ready group is getting ready in Fort Myers. What does that mean? I'm going to give you all the details in today's video. But before we do that, this season's coming to an end. 8 games left, potentially some more if they end up making the playoffs. But I want to know, since the season's coming to an end, as we've seen everything transpire, who is your favorite Red Sox player on this year's team? I've asked you in the past, who's your favorite Red Sox player in history? I want to know, on this team in particular, who's your favorite Red Sox player? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm probably going to go Garrett Crochet. Having a true ace on the team, even though he did struggle a little bit last night, having a true ace on the team is so refreshing. Something we haven't truly had since the prime Chris Sale days. So I'm going to go with Garrett Crochet, but you let me know, who is your favorite player on the 2025 Boston Red Sox team? Biggest update of the day. We're starting with it. It's leading off Wilyer Abreu. It seems like it's very, very likely that Wilyer could be starting today. Here's what Sean McAdam had to say in his article from yesterday. He said, Wilyer Abreu, who's been sidelined for almost a month with a calf strain, underwent what the Red Sox termed a good workout at Fenway on Friday and plans to fly here Saturday to rejoin the team. Next up, getting activated and being added to the active roster with 10 days to go in the regular season. So as we talked about in our last update, he suffered, I would call a setback. I don't think the Red Sox are calling it a setback, but I would call it a setback where he was supposed to allegedly be ready to go for the Athletics series. That didn't happen. He had a workout. He was a little sore, so they pumped the brakes a little bit. And then yesterday, he was supposed to have a hardcore, full-on workout at Fenway. And depending on how that went, that would determine whether or not he traveled to Tampa to join the Sox for the rest of the season. Well, as this report says, he had a good workout, and I believe, if the reporting's correct, he flew to Tampa last night. So that's really, really good news. Here's what Cora had to say on the entire thing. He said, we'll decide what we're going to do on Saturday. It was a good day for him. He's ready to go. Now we just have to make a decision of when. We'll see how he feels every day and go from there. He continued. He said, we know the bat. We know the defense too. That's part of it. We'll go by however he feels and make decisions based on that. When he's here, then we'll talk. We'll go through a few things and decide what to do. So it's not confirmed, as of the recording of this video, that Wilyer will play today. If that changes and it's official, I will make a short. So that's why you subscribe. But every indication is that he is good to go. So even if it's not today, I would assume it's tomorrow. And then you get him back in the lineup. We've talked about Wilyer for almost a month now, as Sean McAdam points out in his article. We've talked about Wilyer for almost a month now. So I don't think I need to go into detail with how important it is getting him back. It is the Gold Glove defense and right. It is the I believe 20 plus home runs this year. It is the being able to flip a game on its head with the swing of a bat. Having Wilyer in the middle of your lineup is invaluable. You need that spark. You need that pop. Getting him back in to a lineup that seems to be getting its momentum back, that's valuable. So we'll wait and see. As of the recording of this video, like I already said, it's not confirmed yet. But when it is confirmed, I will make a short confirming the details. That's why you subscribe to the channel, because when Red Sox news happens, I make videos either short form or long form right away. As soon as we get this Wilyer information, I will make a short, so you guys will be the most up to date of any Red Sox fans anywhere. So hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 6,000 subscribers. I want to get there by the end of the month. I want to get there before the playoffs start. So hit the subscribe button. Join us right now so you know if Wilyer Abreu gets activated, you're going to have a video right away. A Stay Ready group is getting prepared and is headed down to Fort Myers just in case the Red Sox need some reinforcements. Chris Cotillo put out an article yesterday on Mass Live. Really great article. I would highly recommend you go read it, about how Chad Tracy, the Woo Sox AAA manager, is getting a group of players ready, group of players that are on the 40-man roster, and headed down to Fort Myers for a stay-ready kind of quick action force if the Red Sox need players for the postseason. Now, if you don't know, the minor league seasons are over. So there is no taxi squad from Worcester to the Red Sox. Those seasons are over. And so they are taking a group of 40-man roster players down to Fort Myers to their training complex to be ready just in case. Here's what Chris Cotillo had to say. He breaks it down a little bit better. He said, unlike years ago when big league rosters expanded to 40 players in September, the Red Sox won't have a mass call-up from Worcester in the final week. The Sox also won't be able to take any members of the Woo Sox roster on a taxi squad in Boston to have them ready if an injury occurs to the big league club. Instead, on Monday, the club will fly its Stay Ready group of AAA players to its spring training complex in Fort Myers. At Fenway South, they will continue working out in case a need arises in Boston. Excuse me, I butchered the end of that. So basically what's happening is they can't have a taxi squad, which means you have players with you on the roster just in case, and they don't have the huge expanded rosters of like 40-man like they used to years and years and years ago. So they are taking players that are on the 40-man roster because if you're on the 40-man roster, you are eligible to get called up at any point during the playoffs. So they are taking players that are already on the 40-man roster down to Fort Myers to stay fresh just in case they need them. That list includes, but is not limited to, Kristian Campbell, Jhostynxon Garcia as position players, and pitchers Isaiah Campbell, Cooper Criswell, Giovanni Moran, Luis Perales, which is an interesting one, and Luis Guerrero. I don't know at this point if we're going to see a call-up for like a position player in particular, and I know that that's like, Kristian Campbell. Like, I know that everyone wants to talk about Kristian Campbell. And so I don't know if that happens, especially when Wilyer gets activated. Someone's going to have to get sent down, a Nate Eaton or a Nick Sogard or someone like that. So I don't know if a Kristian Campbell call-up is going to happen. I definitely don't think a Jhostynxon Garcia call-up is going to happen. Apparently he's dealing with some sort of injury right now. So I don't think it'll happen, but it's something to consider though. The Red Sox are keeping their options open in case something happens. And not inevitably, but knock on wood, if something were to happen, they'll have players ready, which I actually think is a really good idea and a really smart move for the Red Sox moving forward. You've also got really intriguing names for pitchers. Criswell, I don't know what his status is. I'd have to look at the article, but he was on the minor league IL at the time of recording. Not at the time of recording, but he has been on the minor league IL. But Luis Perales is one that's very interesting. One of the Red Sox top pitching prospects, has not pitched much. I believe, if I remember correctly, again, don't fact check me on this because I haven't done the proper research on this, but I believe he had Tommy John and he was out for like all of last year. But he's a burner. He pumps, he pumps high velo fastballs. He's really intriguing, and he's made a few appearances over the last week, and he's looked really, really good. And so the prospect of Perales potentially getting called up is a very intriguing name. You guys know I'm a Luis Guerrero stan as well. Having these players ready is smart. Having them loose in case something happens is smart. You don't want there to be a few week gap where they're not doing anything, and then all of a sudden they have to get called up. So very smart decision by Chad Tracy, Alex Cora, Craig Breslow, everyone in between. I like what they are doing. Name a player you think the Red Sox should call up to the roster. I don't know how the call-ups work. I don't know if it's just an injury. I would have to do research on that. But they will be able to make some moves if they want to potentially. So name a player you think the Red Sox should call up. I would call up Kristian Campbell. I don't know what Sogard and Eaton are doing that he couldn't do. They've both played well. They, have both done their job. I think Campbell could do that job too. That's just me though. But you name a player the Red Sox should call up, let me know down below in the comments section. All right, let's talk about the game. Red Sox win 11-7. A little too close for comfort. Going into the ninth, it was 11-3. And, of course, Chris Murphy loads the bases, gives up the grand slam. Didn't love that. little too close for comfort. Aroldis Chapman got up in the bullpen. If they would have had to use Aroldis Chapman last night, I would have crashed out. Thankfully, they didn't. He got out of it. But you win. You win. And that's all that matters. I've been very low on this team over the last week. You guys have made that abundantly clear in my comments and in the comments of my Instagram and things like that. But I'm going to call out the team when they're not playing well. And they haven't played well in the last week. And I think most people would agree with me on that. They've been losing games that they should have won. So for them to just win is important. For them to get their confidence back, for them to show themselves, hey, we can do this, was a very big step in the right direction for this team. And for you to put up 11 runs, and most of them came on good situational hitting with runners on, drawing walks, just putting together good at-bats, that was something I really like to see. That really helped my confidence in this lineup just a little bit. And with the prospect of getting Wilyer back either today or tomorrow, that makes me feel so much better. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Crochet starts, gives you 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks, 2 home runs. I don't love that. Crochet, I had a stat from Tim Healy. I actually want to pull it up because I do think it's rather telling as to how Crochet's been doing as of late. Here it is. So Garrett Crochet this season, his first 21 starts of the season, he gave up 10 home runs. His next 10, including last night, 14. So you can tell that there is at least a little bit of wear and tear for Crochet. I'm not worried. I think he'll be fine. He still pitched a really great game, 9 Ks, only 4 hits, 2 of them just happened to be home runs, and 6 innings. Like, I've got no problem with that. Where I do get concerned is the postseason, though, because the postseason is very momentum-based. And when you can get lit up by just 1, 2, 3 pitches in a game, teams will take advantage of that. And Crochet is the Red Sox game 1 starter. He needs to come out and dominate. I'm not saying he won't, but I'm saying the home run problem as of late is at least something to monitor in the next few weeks. That's all I'm saying. I'm not worried about Crochet. He's our ace. He's an absolute dog. But the home runs is at least a little bit of a concern in my opinion. The bullpen after that was good, except for Chris Murphy. Justin Slayton gives you a perfect 7th. He strikes out 2. Zach Kelly gives you a perfect 8th. Chris Murphy, we've already mentioned, 4 runs, the grand slam in the 9th. You don't love to see that. He was able to get out of the game, though, which I think is important. If he would have continued to crumble, which he did after giving up the grand slam, he gave up 2 more hits after the grand slam, but then he was able to clutch up, get out of the game, not have to use Aroldis Chapman. That was at least worth it, in my opinion. You got out of it. You didn't have to use any of your high leverage relievers. Slayton I still consider kind of high leverage, but he's still starting to find his form, which he showed last night. 2 Ks, looked pretty good. But that was really great to see that they were able to get out of it with minimal damage. Although it got close, minimal damage nonetheless. The offense, though, is the name of the game. 12 hits, 5 walks, 8 Ks. Everyone got a hit minus Trevor Story and Carlos Narvaez, but Trevor Story still had an RBI, so he contributed in some way, shape, and form in the scoring. You had a home run from Alex Bregman, which was huge. Alex Bregman, I think a big day for his confidence. He went 1 for 3, but that one was a home run. But then he had 2 walks and he didn't strike out once. I think this was a big, big day for Alex Bregman's confidence. So that was really awesome to see. And then Jarren Duran, he goes 2 for 6. He has 2 RBIs, 2 runs. He did have 2 strikeouts, but he had a monster home run to give the Red Sox the lead. One of the biggest swings of the year. I think Jared Carrabis said that. I completely agree with him. One of the biggest swings of the year. Jarren Duran absolutely destroying a home run off a lefty as well, which was really, really awesome to see. Other than that, Yoshida had a key hit. Romy had a hit. Nate Eaton had a good day, 2 for 4 with a walk. Nathaniel Lowe had a huge RBI hit as well. He went 1 for 3, but he had 2 RBIs, which was absolutely massive. And Ceddanne Rafaela, 4 for 5, 2 runs, and RBI, no Ks. A big day for his confidence as well. You need some of these guys to start getting their confidence back. And thankfully, I think today was a big, confidence booster for this Red Sox. I hope that going into the next 2 games, we start to see them continue to string together some good games. I'm going to look up real quick. It looks like Cleveland won at the, they were tied 2-2 in the 8th, and Cleveland went up 4-2. Yeah, I think Cleveland won. So I'll check this. We'll check the scores here in a second. But you didn't lose any ground. So Cleveland won. So you're not. Let me actually just confirm it, and we'll go into standings watch right now. Cleveland won. They ended up winning 6-2. The Twins are a horrible team. They sold, so I understand. Cleveland won. So you're not gaining ground, you're not growing a lead, but you're not losing ground. And you do technically have a 2-game lead. I know it says 1.5, but you also have the season series, so you have basically a half-game lead above that. So you have a 2-game lead with 8 games left. And I would almost guarantee Cleveland doesn't win every single game they play the rest of the year. So you just got to keep winning. You control your own destiny. I mean, Trevor Story said it best 3 nights ago. You control your own destiny. So keep winning ball games and keep doing what you do. Let's look at the scoreboard. And I hope that the game last night is a step in the right direction and is giving the Red Sox some momentum. You got Connerly early tomorrow. You got Kyle Harrison on Sunday. Or Connerly early today, Kyle Harrison on Sunday. Hopefully, that is a much needed boost. And hopefully they can win this series, hell, even sweep the series. I'm not going to say they're going to sweep it. I did predict before the series that they'd go 2 out of 3. This is a good start in the right direction. Let's look at the scores and the standings, then we'll get out of here. As it currently stands, not all these games are over yet, but the only game of substance that's not over yet is the Rangers game. They're playing the Marlins. The Marlins are up 3-1 in the bottom of the 10th. I'm not going to say the Marlins are going to win, but it looks good. You guys will know by the time you watch this where they stand. The Tigers are starting to crumble. They've lost again. They lost to the Braves 10-1. The Yankees lose. They lose 4-2 to the Orioles. The Blue Jays get clobbered by the Royals. 20-1. Holy crap. The Mariners beat the Astros, and the Guardians beat the Twins. So as the standings currently stand, just to make absolutely sure we're good here, like I've already mentioned, the division is cooked. You're 5 games out with 8 games left. That's not going to happen. Even if you sweep Toronto, that would get you within 2. I don't think that happens. That would have to literally be a 2011 collapse for that to happen, and I don't think that happens. But looking at the wild card's interesting. You're tied with Houston for the last wild card spot. You're 2 back of New York. So the wild card's still up in the air. You're only 2 back on New York. Crazier things have happened. You're a 1.5 games up on Cleveland. The Rangers are basically out of it. They are 4.5 back. It looks like potentially almost 5 back if they end up losing this game to the Marlins. So really it is going to be 4 teams for 3 spots. It's whoever doesn't win the West, so either Seattle or Houston. It's going to be you, the Yankees, and Cleveland. So you just have to hold off Cleveland. That's all you have to do. The unfortunate part is Cleveland is the hottest team in baseball. They've won 8 straight. They've won 9 of their last 10. And you have gone 5-5, but you did win last night. So that's where it stands. We'll see what happens. I believe the magic number is 8, 7 at this point. You control your own destiny. They have not looked good as of late. I think we can all agree on that. But I think last night's game was a step in the right direction. You guys let me know down below in the comments. Do the Red Sox win this series? Type Y for yes if they do. Type N for no if they do not. Let me know down below in the comments. That's where we're going to end it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I will be back later today with a short recapping the second game of this series, Connerly early on the mound. I'm very, very excited for that. Then we'll have a full-length video Sunday morning as well, so don't miss that. And like I said, if Wilyer Abreu gets activated today, I will also have a short with that news as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and until next time, go Sox.